Hello students, in the previous discussion we have studied the circulatory system in which we studied that how nutrients, oxygen are transported through the help of blood to the various tissues and cells of the body. We have studied the composition of blood and we also studied the composition of blood in which plasma is a fluid part and blood cells are the solid part. Three types of blood cells are present. First of all, erythrocytes, second one was leukocytes and the third one was platelets. We have studied the water pipeline system just like the blood, in which water was equal to the blood. Then comes the pipeline system, which was the blood vessels through which the blood flows. Then we take the discussion of heart and the structure of heart, which was composed of four chambers, atria and ventricles. We have studied various arteries and veins through which blood flows from heart to lungs and from heart to different tissues of body. Then we studied the disorders of circulatory system about high blood pressure, then low blood pressure, heart blockage, cardiac arrest, heart attack. Now, today we will discuss excretory system, a system which is used for removing the waste substances from the body. And this removal of waste substances are very important, as if they accumulate in the body, they will behave as a toxin, that is, they will behave as a poison for our body. So, we have to dispose it out of the body, and for that a system known as excretory system is used, in which kidney is the main excretory organ for removing the nitrogenous waste. But only nitrogenous waste are not the waste of our body. CO2, a harmful gas, is also a waste for our body, which are removed with the help of lungs. So, in animals mainly there is accumulation of ammonia, urea, uric acid, carbon dioxide, water and ions like sodium, potassium, chloride, phosphates and sulfates. These are produced by metabolic activities of the cells, and these substances have to be removed. Some substances have to be removed totally and others are removed partially from the body. So, for this excretion, the kidney is the main organ. Animals are divided into three categories. First one is ammonotelic, then ureotelic and uricotelic. These categories are based on the excretory material which they excrete. So, the organisms which are ammonotelic excrete the ammonia. Ammonia is a highly toxic form of nitrogenous waste. So, when a substance is highly toxic, then we require a large amount of water for its excretion. So, for removing ammonia, we require a large amount of water. So, mainly the organisms which live in water or near water mainly excrete the ammonia, because they have abundant amount of water in their habitat, so that they can remove that toxic form of nitrogenous waste. So, the organisms which excrete ammonia are mainly aquatic insects. Aquatic means the insects which live in the aquatic habitat in water. Then comes bony fishes. Fishes, as you know, lives in water. So, bony fishes whose endoskeleton is made up of bones excretes ammonia. Then comes amphibians, which either live in water or live in the surrounding near water. So, amphibians also are ammonotelic. Then comes second category, that is ureotelic. Humans are also included in ureotelic, in which excretory substance is urea. Urea is less toxic than ammonia, so they require less amount of water for its excretion. The organisms which are included in ureotelic are mainly mammals, the class mammals, in which we humans also belongs. Then comes marine fishes. Some marine fishes, instead of living in aquatic habitat, excretes urea. Then frog, which is the example of amphibians but still excretes the urea. So these, you may say that these are exceptions of marine habitats. Then comes the third category, that is uricotelic. Uricotelic, in which the excretory substance is uric acid. Uric acid is excreted in the form of paste. These are least toxic, so the requirement of water for its excretion is also very less. The organisms which comes under the category uricotelic are mainly those who have very little amount of water in its habitat. For example, birds, reptiles and terrestrial insects, the insects living on the land. So, you may say that the toxicity is directly proportional to the water requirement for its excretion. If a substance is highly toxic like ammonia, then they require large amount of water for its excretion. Then comes ureotelic, in which these are less toxic than ammonia, so require less amount of water. And uricotelic, which is least toxic, requires the least amount of water for their excretion. Now we will study the human excretory system in detail. The organs which are involved in the excretion is first of all a pair of kidney. Then second one is a pair of ureter which connects kidney to the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder is a muscular sac-like structure in which urine is stored. Approximately 400 to 600 ml of urine is stored in urinary bladder. Then the last one is the urethra. Urethra is a tube-like structure which connects urinary bladder to the exterior of your body as it excretes urine out of the body. So now we will study these organs in detail with the help of a diagram. So first of all, the main organ of excretory system is kidney. There are two kidney. First one is on the right side is right kidney and on left side is left kidney. The left kidney is at slightly upper position than the right kidney. At the upper position of the kidney, there is a gland present whose name is adrenal gland. We will discuss the adrenal gland in detail in endocrine system. Then there is one renal artery. Renal is the term which is used for the kidney. Renal artery carries pure blood along with the metabolic waste to the kidney, from which waste is excreted out, and the pure blood in terms of metabolic waste, that is the blood which is free from metabolic waste, is again reaches to the heart with the help of renal vein which carry deoxygenated blood, but this time this blood is free from waste products. But renal artery carries oxygenated blood, but metabolic waste are present in it. Then comes ureter, which carries urine from kidney to the storage organ urinary bladder. Then urinary bladder is a muscular organ which stores urine, and after a while when signal comes from the central nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord, then the sphincters open. Sphincters are the gate-like structures which when contract then they are closed, that nothing can be passed from them, and when they are in relaxed position then urine can pass through these sphincters. These are present in urinary bladder. Then comes urethra, by which urine is excreted out from the urinary opening. This was the human excretory system. Now we will discuss the main organ, that is kidney, in detail. So first of all, mammalian kidneys are bean-shaped organs. You might have seen the beans. So kidney is just like a bean which was reddish brown colored. The position of kidney was, it was little posterior to the body. Posterior means back side of your body, and it approximately excretes out 75 to 80% of liquid waste. So, in kidney, first of all comes the organ hilum. It is a groove-like structure at the central surface of kidney from which renal artery and nerves enter, and renal vein which carry deoxygenated blood and ureter which carries urine goes out. Then kidney is itself divided into two parts. First of all, cortex part. Cortex part is the outer part of kidney and inner part is the medullary part, in which medullary pyramids are present. These are the conical shaped masses which are present in the medulla region of kidney. Hilum leads to a funnel shaped space which is known as renal pelvis, in which structural and functional unit of kidney, that is nephrons, are present. Nephrons are basically a tubular structure which stores urine, that is the waste product of the body. Structure of human nephron is given on page number 21, figure number 2.11. You can see the diagram of nephron in this. It is composed of two parts mainly. First one is the Bowman's capsule, that is a cup-like structure and double-walled. In this cup-like structures, many capillaries are present. There is basically a tuft of capillaries, that is network of capillaries are present in which blood flows. These tuft of capillaries are known as glomerulus, in which renal artery enters, which is known as afferent arteriole, and then it goes away with the help of renal vein. This part of kidney, that is Bowman's capsule along with glomerulus, is known as Malpighian corpuscle or renal corpuscle. This part of kidney mainly helps in filtration of the blood. Then comes the tubular part of the nephron, which is mainly composed of three parts. First one is PCT. PCT is proximal convoluted tubule. These tubules mainly helps in reabsorption of useful substances. Then comes a hairpin like structure, a structure which just looks like a hairpin, which have two limbs, descending and ascending limb. Descending limb is going downwards, and then comes a ascending limb which is going upwards. This is the central portion of tubular part of nephron, known as Henle's loop. Then comes the last part of tubular part of nephron, known as DCT. DCT is the distal convoluted tubule. These at last opens in the straight tube which is given in the diagram, that is collecting tubule, which finally carries urine to the ureter. So, the passage of urine starts from renal hilum. Then in nephron it goes to the collecting duct, then to the renal pelvis, which was the funnel shaped space in which urine was present, then ureter, which connects the kidney to the urinary bladder. Then urine gets stored in the urinary bladder, from which it is excreted out through the urethra. So, now we will discuss that PCT, DCT and Henle's loop. PCT, DCT, Bowman's capsule and glomerulus are present in the cortex part of kidney, but loop of Henle and collecting duct are present in the medulla part, that is the inner part of the kidney. Now comes the organ urinary bladder. We have discussed it. It is the storage organ in which urine is stored. It is present in the pelvic region. Pelvic region is the lowermost part of your body, of your abdominal cavity, in which urinary bladder is present behind the pubis bone. It is a pear-shaped structure and stores 400 to 600 ml of urine. Opening is guarded by the sphincters. There are two types of sphincters present. First of all, external sphincters. These are voluntary, but internal sphincters are involuntary in nature. The length of ureter is in the range of 25 to 30 centimeter and is a tube-like structure, and urethra, which lets the urine outside the body. In males, urethra finally goes to the penis region, that is the external genital organ of males. But in females, there is another external opening of urethra, that is known as urethral opening, which is present above the vaginal opening. So, you can say that urethra in males performs the dual functions. It also transports semen. Semen is a liquid part which also contains sperms. So, in males, urethra contains both urine as well as sperms. But in females, for both the purposes, the two different organs are present, and in the exterior two different openings are present. First one is the vagina, which is the external genital organ of female, and the second one was urethral opening, which is present above the vaginal opening. And the length of urethra is longer in males than females. Then we will discuss the mechanism of urine formation, which basically takes place with the help of three steps in the nephrons. First of all, glomerular filtration, which takes place by Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. Second step was reabsorption, that is reabsorption of useful substances from the tubular part, in which PCT mainly acts. Then comes the process of secretion. Secretion is the process in which some substances, just like potassium, is excreted in the urine. This function mainly carried out by the help of DCT. Both the kidneys together filter 1000 to 1200 ml of blood every minute. This filtrate then passes to the tubular parts, and approximately 99% of the substance is reabsorbed. Only 1%, that is the waste product, is excreted out in the liquid form known as urine. Urine passing from the collecting duct finally reaches to the ureter, then it passes to the urinary bladder, in which it is stored for some time, and after a signal from CNS, central nervous system, that comprises brain and spinal cord, then receiving the signal from CNS, urinary bladder excretes out urine. There are contractions in the urinary bladder at the time of urine voiding, but sphincters, that is the gate-like structures of urinary bladder, relaxes and release the urine outside the body. There are also some organs apart from kidneys which helps in excretion. First of all, I have told you CO2, a harmful gas which is excreted out with the help of lungs. So, lungs is the excretory organ for CO2. For nitrogenous waste, kidney was the excretory organ, which we have discussed it in detail today. Then the second one is liver. Liver excretes out bile pigments. Bile pigments, that is the bilirubin and biliverdin. Bilirubin and biliverdin are the bile pigments which are also the waste substances of bile. Then some salts, excess amounts of vitamins, these are also waste products of the human body and excreted out with the help of liver. Over skin is also an excretory organ which excretes out waste products with the help of sweat and sebum. In sweat, salts, water and lactic acid, urea is present, which are excreted out from the skin pores, and sterols and hydrocarbons, which are the waxy sticky substances, are released out with the help of sebum. It's a waxy and sticky substance. So, now we will discuss the disorders of excretory system. So, let's start the disorders of excretory system. First disorder is uremia. The word amia is for the blood and the word ure is for the urea. So, uremia is urea in blood. It is due to the malfunctioning in kidney. When kidney is not capable to excrete out the whole urea, then urea comes in the renal vein. So, urea in blood is the condition known as uremia. Second one is the kidney failure, in which kidney totally fails out. Then it stops functioning and excretory substances, that is waste products, are increased in the body, which have to be excreted out. So, it needs a kidney transplantation, that is receiving a kidney from a suitable donor after blood group matching and tissue matching. Second one is glomerulonephritis. I have told you the itis term is used for inflammation, itching and swelling, and glomerulonephritis is the inflammation in the glomerulus, which is the part of nephrons. Inflammation in glomerulus. Then the fourth one is renal calculi. I have told you that renal is the term which is used for kidney and calculi are the structures made up of calcium phosphate and calcium oxalates. These are the insoluble masses present in the body. If they increases, then it leads to the stone in kidney. So, renal calculi in common terms are known as kidney stone. Fifth one is glycosuria. The word glyco means glucose and urea is urine. So, presence of glucose in urine is the glycosuria. It is the sign of a diabetic patient. Then comes hematouria. The word heme is used for blood and urea for urine. So, presence of blood in urine is known as hematouria and it is due to the bacterial infections in the body. So, we have discussed the whole excretory system and the main excretory organ kidney in detail. Then we studied the mechanism of urine formation and disorders related to the excretory system. And in the next class, we will discuss the reproductive system. Thank you.